Hey, welcome everybody. John Alexander with you. Let me know if you are on the stream, and I'll see if we've got this working. YouTube was giving me a message that they were having some issues with their streaming um, stuff, but sometimes you get that message and it doesn't really mean anything. So we'll see. And I'm just going to do while we're waiting and getting set up here. I'm going to do just a little bit of other test here. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I did that. Oh, okay, let me try this again. Okay, very good. And we are live now. So really, one of the first things you do is you tell people when you're live. Um, if you go live with a group, I mean, they don't always know when you go live, and there's always some delay. So it's always best to do something like what you saw today when I emailed you out an email. And I'm talking. We're going to be talking in two different ways, or actually several different ways, because this is one on many. You know, when you're talking to a group of people, is one way, and some of your businesses will need that. A lot of, and then other times it's just one on one. So, and I'll take a little bit of a difference, and we'll look at different tools today for each of those as well. And let me just post that real quick. Okay, so let me go ahead and pop back over here and just adjusting and looking at what is going on. Stream offline. It is saying that it's off stream. Well, this is the issues I think we're having today with YouTube. So, what we'll do instead, there's always a workaround, you know, there's always a workaround. So if because I'm not getting any feedback, so I already know something's wrong. And then when I go to you, when I go there, and you can kind of see right now where I'm at. When I go into here, it's saying down here in the bottom left, live stream offline. So that's where you know, and there's no picture there. Obviously, this should be live, and you should be seeing me. So if you want to, so when you want to test your live stream, just go to where you're supposed to be looking, obviously, and check it. So the other, okay, so another way that we can get this is for me to turn on a system, or go back in and turn back on. I'm gonna post this over here for just a second because it's gonna get an infinite screen here. But what I'm looking at over here is where my stream is going out. So we're gonna be discussing this software, but as long as I'm having to do it, this is a great time to learn part of this software here. Um, is I have Facebook turned off, so I can turn Facebook on, and then I can go check my webpage and see if I'm streaming there. So then I come over here. Now this was not working either yesterday, so maybe there's a lot of stuff going on right now that with the company that I'm using that shoots out all these streams, and it's called Restream.io. Restream.io. See, so I should be popping up right here, and so it will just automatically populate right in there, which is one of the reasons I love Restream.io. And it'll pop into this area, and boom, you've gone live. At the same time, you're live here. You're also live on Facebook, and you're live. You can be live on Periscope. You can be live on Twitch, or a lot of different video venues that are out there. So write that down. That'll be the first one to go to multiple places with one video. It's called Restream, R-E, and then stream.io. Okay, so what we're going to be doing in this master class is looking at first of all, the different software, and just some ideas about taking your business virtual. And of course, most of us here are in the real estate business, so we want to look at that primarily. That's really the focus of what we'll be talking about. However, any business can see already, how you could use this for their business, because it's all the same thing, and we're using the same tools that everybody uses. If you know about them, which ones to use. And but how do you go about that? So one of the things that we want to do is look at the current business model, and then start asking your questions, because some of you are flipping houses, some of you are flipping land, some of you are flipping both. Some of you rent out and all that stuff. So you look at your business model that you have, and you start seeing where is it in the model, and in the flow, in the chain, that I can, instead of being there in person, that I can stick video, phone connection, where in the flow of going from A to Z on a transaction, for example, can I put in virtual connections. That's using video, that's using telephone, that's using text and SMS messages, and that's using the web, the web as well, because there's some interactions as well that is connected to the web that allows you to go there. So you're going to find out, okay, well, what are where is the areas that I can populate myself into, or a connection with my client into. So those are the first places to look. Where's that connection between the two of you? And then what tool can replace that most efficiently? Keeping in mind that somehow face-to-face is best, but not always. There's a lot of people that don't want to go on camera, or if you're looking at them, it's fine for them to look at you, but they don't want you to see them. So keep that in mind. And so these tools, a lot of times, they're only going to work on one way. And you don't really need to see the person, quite frankly, right? You don't technically need to see the person. It's nice if they want to, pop on there, but it's it's easier for you to go one way anyway, just from you to them. And a lot of times they just don't want to, people, all of us are the same. We have, we wake up, our hair is messed up, and, we got a phone call. We're going to take that. We're sitting there, you could be sitting there in your underwear. You're taking a call and doing business. That's what we do in the home-based business. So, but, certainly if you do video, that's all off the table. Now, what we can do is we can figure out, again, where these are, and I'm just going to turn my ringer off because I hate getting the phone ringing while we're doing these. So one of the things you do after you find out where these are, figure out which software works best for that, and then start implementing that. And once you do, now re-question what you're doing. So we're always going back and trying to modify and make better, because some things you'll do and it just doesn't work out either, right? So you find out, customers didn't like that didn't work. So be ready to, go back to square one and figure out a different way, or research online and figure out maybe a different tool to use for that particular part. So that's one of the, I guess, one of the big keys right there to doing it, and is just figuring out that little line right there, and then using these tools. So let's go through some tools, and while we're at it, I think some of you might have already heard me talking about, you also just reach out with phone calls. There's nothing quicker or faster than just reaching out to people with a phone right now and checking in with them. It's really important during this time, whenever, especially in a panic like this is the best time to reach your customers, your clients, your tenants, people who are paying you on notes. Connect with them so that they know that there's somebody that they're this kind of thinking about them, concerned about them, and trying to make that connection. You're a team, basically. You become a team at that point because of the tragedy around you. So it's like, okay, even if I had a horrible enemy that I hated, but both of us were together in the middle of the forest and there was a bear about to attack, suddenly we're the best of friends and we're trying to figure out how we're going to survive together. Then we can go back to fighting later. So that's, in a way, that's what happens at a time like this. So your tenants, your clients that you're normally negotiating against, or it's always about you against them in a lot of ways because of the circumstances. But then there's times when you have to come together like this, and so once you do, also it makes those other times a lot easier. You're suddenly not going to get put to the back of the line. 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, you'll make a friend for life when you go through these hard times with them. So pick up the phone, give them a call, and also get your face back in front of them. So some of your clients haven't seen you for a while. Maybe after that phone call, get your iPhone out and then make a quick video and shoot that video off to them in a text format. Some of them will get it, some of them won't, depending on their phone, right? And so it doesn't really matter. You've done it, and just assume that it got over there. Let's go through some of the software that I use in communicating with other people. And again, I'll just tap on it as we go into the software. But if you grab a pen and paper, I don't want to chart this up here because people get lazy. They won't write it down. If you write it down, you'll have it somewhere there where you're at. Then you'll keep it. You're more likely to keep it and actually act on it. I'm not going to go too much into the details on this because it's all everything I'm going to mention here. The how to actually use it is on YouTube. So you take the names and then you go to YouTube. We all have some downtime right now. Go to YouTube, figure it out, and watch those how-to videos. So tutorial videos. So your search word would be the name of the program or app and tutorial. That's the first one. Or how or review. So all of those will usually get you into an area that will allow you to understand how to use all of these. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is to go over some obvious ones, right? Skype is like pretty popular, and it's fading away because of social media, all right? But it's still there, and it's probably one of the best ones. I communicate with my VA, so especially if you're dealing across countries and everything, Skype becomes like to me the number one communication device. So it also then at times like this can become a great communication device for you personally, and you can set people up and say, "Are you on Skype?" No, okay, download it, and so we can communicate better. And here's the reason why you want to communicate better. With Skype, unlike email and all the rest of the stuff, well, not so much. Well, now that they have Google Drive, it really doesn't matter. But this is quicker, all right? And you can send, with Skype, I can go in, I can open my phone, and I can send like 10 different pictures of something. Maybe we're working a deal or something. I can send 10 different pictures off immediately, just like that, all at one time. And then whereas on my other phone, maybe regular messaging, I've got to go, piecemeal it one at a time, and it takes a long time to do that. So Skype allows you to do that. Skype also allows you to, it's also great on the notifications. So it will pop up on your phone like you're getting a phone call. So it doesn't disappear like some of the other things might as well. Now, messaging, okay, if you're using Messenger on your phone, and in particular, I'm talking about iPhone here. I've had both Android, but now I'm back to iPhone. I started off with iPhone, then I went to Android, now I'm back to iPhone. So there's always, these things kind of work sometimes on both apps or both operating systems. But right now, I'll specifically talk about this because I'm using it, the iPhone. On Messenger, or let's say the Messenger app itself, right, that comes with your telephone. Um, who uses the word telephone anymore? What you can do, what that's good for is longer videos. Here's the problem with Skype. Skype doesn't like video at all. It doesn't like these huge files, so it pops those off. You can send a lot of photographs, but you can't send video files. You can do a very short one, but if it's got any length to it, like 4 or 5 minutes or longer, then it says no. You're not gonna use that. So then I oftentimes use a combination of my message app, which is your text app on your phone, to send that video. Or if the video is even larger than what the app is going to allow for, then I move over to email. So that's like the three prong system I use. And it was a great, so like you're working with your salespeople, you're working with somebody connected to your business. Um, that's a great communication thing. Now I've tried Slack and all the I've tried all these others, and it works. Don't get me wrong. It's just that by the time I go back there and log in and then figure out, okay, where are we at, and I got to create a new instruction page for this so they don't get confused with the past instruction and all that. By the time you get through all that, it was just easier and faster to do the Skype or the email or the regular message. So I pretty much, every time I tried something else, I just walked away from it after a while. Um, Now, if you got a really big organization and you're doing like really multiple stuff connected into all of these people, then yeah, Podio and all that stuff, that all really starts to help you, and you probably should be using it as well. So those are definitely places to go once you get away from more of a mom pop type situation. Now, another thing that I like to use with my people like that is Google Docs, because Google Docs updates live. So if I have somebody, we're working on a spreadsheet together, whatever they put in pops up pretty quick, and I can see what they've done. And if not, I can refresh my page real quick, and it pops in, and I can see what they've done, and they can see what I've done. So Google Docs, their Google Sheets, is the equivalent to Excel for them, and Google Docs is the equivalent to Word for them. So those are two good sources as well. Uh, One of the apps, before I get off this page, I just want to continue. The YouTube live stream is a good way too. So that's another way, because it's fairly fast. You can log into your channel, and they have a studio there, and let me see if I still have that up here. Yeah, I do. Let me pop over here. Okay, so they have a live stream area over here in your Creator Studio. So when you come over here and you pop this down, it's going to allow you to go into your Creator Studio, and then you can get into your live stream and create live streams and go live that way. So that's another way of doing it. But yeah, that finishes that page. Now let's go back into more of the detailed apps and stuff that a lot of people either have or haven't heard about. Um, we've covered in a way just really quickly Facebook Live, but that's another quick way of communicating. And the sister, I would say, of that is Facebook Messenger. If you can get somebody on Facebook Messenger, makes your life a lot easier. I'd rather communicate with somebody on Facebook Messenger than I would on my phone's app, and because it gives you a few more, a little bit more of a robust system there. Notifications to me are better, because now I've got them coming up on my computer and everything else, and I can access them from all over, not just my phone. I can also, maybe I'm just on my iPad and I'm working on my iPad, and it can pop, I can get a message saying, oh, okay, somebody's, has a question that needs fast answer, etc. Um, the other one is called Be Live TV, BELIVE.TV. Let me pop that one up too over here. So this is Be Live TV, and you can connect if you just want two people on the same screen and you're talking to somebody else. It's a free app, and you can pop it up, and then boom, you're in business pretty quick. Talking to somebody, it'll do a split screen here, so both of you can see each other at the same time. And this again is something that you can go online and research on YouTube. So they've got be careful, because they had a different version of this, or maybe it's a different sounding name. I don't know. I think it is, but I think they just did some updates, and now it's completely different. So you look for the month or date of that video that does the overview to this. So this is the layout that you want to see when they do when they go through and do the full explanation of how it works. But it's pretty robust, very robust, in fact. I will try to put a link to that video, in fact, in this, just so you don't have to go searching too far for it. And so that's Be Live TV. The other thing is the whiteboards. So when you're communicating with somebody else, whiteboards are great. iPad is bringing the whiteboard to a whole nother level. All right, just making life a lot easier. Some of you have seen my iPad whiteboard when I do some descriptions, and with my ugly writing and my weird drawings, but it does work. But here's a good one it's a free system, and it's always online, and you can bring it up, and you could do a share screen with somebody as well, or you could even videotape it yourself and send it to somebody. So if you are doing screen sharing like I'm doing right now with you, or I'm supposed to be doing right now with you, let me put that over there. So basically it's a whiteboard, and it's at awwapp.com, and it just allows you to say, go ahead and do any kind of drawings you want or whatever. It works with a mouse, or it works with a pencil if you can, go get a pencil. So the controls are pretty much self-explanatory over here. All right, so boom. So that is called awwapp.com. And let me go back over here, get my waterfall going. Now, for iPads or iPhones, and Androids are going to have a version of this. Again, you'll have to search on there. But so the ones I'm using on my iPad is called Easy Teach. I love this program, and these apps are they might cost some small amount for the year or something. I don't even know if I paid for this or not. I might have, but whatever it was definitely worth it. Whatever. But it's called Easy Teach. It's in the App Store, Easy Teach. And it's the full word, EASYTEACH. And man, this is a powerful little program, because it allows you to, actually I'm on it right now on my iPad. So it allows you to do all of the, with a pencil. So with the iPad pencil, if you get this is a great combination, just a miracle, because it actually allows you to write decently if you have good handwriting, not like me. But and explain, and at the same time, you've got a record button right up here, right? This little red button, and I can hit that record, and now it's recording the screen. Okay, and also I can do a little drop down here, and it says open camera, and then it suddenly it's got the little camera in there. All right, so you can also record that camera as well at the same time. So when you click the screen to record it, it's recording you. So you're talking into this corner, and you're doing, now you can write on here like a notepad. You can save that to your iPad, and then you can send it to somebody. So this is probably a really strong tool that you can use if you have to have something where you're trying to describe something out and detail it, and then send it out to somebody. You can also post it, of course, on the web like I do on Facebook. I mean, you can pretty much do whatever you want with that video because it's saved in your video. And then if you're on the cloud, then you can also pull it up on your phone, and you can play with it from, manipulate it to send out to, or save it to wherever you need to. And the other thing I love about this is the paging. So it's got this paging, right? So the paging, you can just, if you just hit it, it goes to the next page. So it can page through, gives you a whole new blank screen, and you just keep going. So you can actually kind of get messy or mess it up, and just, instead of sitting there and erasing it like you do with well, they all kind of have this where you can go to the next screen, but this is really simple. You just hit the arrow button and you're done. So I've looked at a couple of the different iPad, and I have a couple of, like Nobility. I don't like, to me, I just haven't liked any of the others. They all have a robust system, but I find that, what you need is, you need something that will give you a few different colors, and you need something that erases fast. I can clear all of the ink off that page quickly and not mess up my other pages that I'm working. So, the little things, that's what makes these things work for you really well or not. And I just like this one. All right, let me continue. So that's my favorite whiteboard. I don't know yet. Maybe some of you guys can feed back to me if Easy Teach comes on the Android. I'd like to find that out. I do know that another version that is highly recommended for doing the whiteboard with the Android is called ID Roo. So I wouldn't even want to pronounce Idru, but I guess you could, or Idro. I'm not sure how you pronounce this, but it's IDROO. There's one more whiteboard I will have you go check out. I have not checked it out, but I know that a lot of people have told me they like it. So it's called BAI Board. So it's all spelled out, BAIBOARD board. So that will be in the App Store as well. The other thing I like about this app, before I leave, because one more thing is, if you get to really get good sound quality, because I don't like the sound quality you get when you're just talking into it. It'll pick up echoes, not too much, but if you want to sound professional, you can order a microphone. Pretty much any of the microphones, they're like whatever, $10-15, as long as they've got the lightning connection. And when you plug it in here, you can go ahead and pop this up. It's got a fairly long cord, boom, and you're recording at a fairly decent high quality audio as well. So you always want to make sure you're doing audio well, your audio's coming across well, and your video's coming across well when you do these things. I use in here, as I'm using a microphone, and this is the Yeti microphone. I love this microphone. I've had some very expensive microphones over the years. Even the professional recording microphones, one fell into my lap. The other two I bought. And this really actually does a better job than those did. So for podcasting and for microphoning over the internet, something like this, and it's very affordable. I can't remember the price now, but I'm pretty sure it's under $100. And it's also very popular with streamers out there, by the way. Now, again, anytime you get something like this, there's a million videos on YouTube that show you how to set it up, how to work it right. Little things like talking this way into the front. If you have this thing turned around thinking the back over here is the front, then you won't hardly hear anything. But what this does, it allows your, maybe a vacuum cleaner is going on over here. You'll never hear it. So I could be here and the vacuum cleaner could be out there, and you probably won't hear the vacuum cleaner because this thing just really funnels in and picks up that voice about 14 inches away from that mic. So those are the kind of things you learn on the YouTube videos when you pick this stuff up and start using it. Now we're talking about like this video that we just created, for example, or we might use any other recording. The ways that we might record it, maybe through live or stream or whatever. You end up with a video. And for editing is the last part of this, and I use two different systems for editing. So one system is on my desktop, and it is a what that one is a desktop called Camtasia, and Camtasia allows you to upload a video with audio built into it, everything, and then you can divide that. You can cut it up, you can do all kinds of things. I mean, it's probably the most robust system that I've ever used, and I've used a couple of different ones, and I just have always liked that one, and I usually get the upgrade when they come out because it does does a lot. They do improve it. They've improved it every time really well. And well worth, I think it's about $300, but I think for Macs it's about $90. So Camtasia is a great tool for that. Now, I'll give you a cheap version. Windows has its own version, so you can pop up your Windows and go in and look for your movie editor in there. And again, YouTube is your friend there. Find that, and they'll detail out how to use that. But I like this app called KineMaster. KineMaster, excuse me, is a great tool for doing quick video edits. So you can when you open it in an app form on your phone or your iPad, you can immediately go into your picture albums and find whatever video you want, including pictures, but mainly this is for video editing, and you can just open it. Now you've got the video and you can edit it much like you can in the phone, but it gives you a few more ability. It gives you a little bit more cutting and sizing. To me, a lot easier to do that. So you can just take the part you want. You can review it before you save it. You can add text overlay on the video. You can do certain things like that. And those are all nice little features to have. And again, that's KineMaster, spelled KlineMaster. Also, for those looking for stuff that is free, that kind of comes in here. When you do searches, often, I mean, you can always use the open source as part of your keyword. And if there's a open source version of that, then you can get that. And that's usually a pretty good version of whatever you're looking for. So you can put the name of something you're looking for and open source and see if there is an overlap into the open source version. Open source is is this basically what programmers have created, and they don't want any money for it. They just put it out there, and you can use it for free. And usually it's pretty high quality, or else it doesn't fall into that category. They have their pride at open source. Okay. Since we actually weren't able to go live here, I cannot take your questions today. So that's why we have tomorrow. So hopefully this will be fixed or repaired by tomorrow, and we can do some live stuff. And you can also post any questions you have, though, to be safe. Post them below this post on Facebook here in our Connect, Virtual Connect Facebook group, and I will answer those on tomorrow's call as well. All right, thanks everybody.